The Big Four are rolling on the women's side of things. Is it going to be a Big Four semifinal? Something to talk about as we enter week 2 of this year's French Open. What's up, everybody? It's John Eric Polai, and if you guys have been following along with this French Open on the women's side, you got to be very happy with the results. I know so many people were really hoping to see a Big Four semifinal here, and it looks like we have a very good chance of seeing that here. Let's kind of break down kind of the roadmap here for a lot of these players here as we enter this second week of this tournament that I'm so very much looking forward to. Let's get started with the world number 1, Iga Swiatek. She's been playing obviously very well. Now, we did see that great matchup with Naomi Osaka. I know that was a 3-set thriller. It did take a lot out of Iga, and you could be sitting there saying, well, Osaka wasn't playing so well coming into this tournament. Throw that all out the window. The way Osaka looked in that tournament, that was like vintage Osaka. That Osaka beats the majority of women on tour. It was so great to see that Osaka's back, and that was a big-time matchup there. Iga was able to dig down deep. She never said die. Made a huge run in that matchup to win that, and that was such an awesome matchup there to see, and I'm glad to see Iga moving on here because it's good for the sport when Iga's playing this well. We know she is the queen of clay. Now, I want to take a look at this future kind of roadmap here, if you will, for Iga Swiatek, and it's holding up pretty well, but there is a big name out there still for her. She did get a little bit of a break when Daniel Collins got upset, but there is still Marketa Vondrousova out there. Let's not forget, Vondrousova won the Wimbledon Championship last year, and listen, when you're getting this far along in a tournament, you're obviously playing well. There's a lot of momentum building up there, and let's not forget, if this roof is closed and it becomes more that almost like a hard court type of a feel to the clay, if that kind of makes sense, if you will there. No, obviously not a typical hard court, but still it loses that, that humidity in the air and all that, and it changes the way the ball bounces and whatnot. If the roof's closed and we see Iga struggling like she did against Naomi Osaka, that's going to make that matchup, I feel like, a little bit interesting. Then, of course, out there, too, would be a future matchup with Coco Gauff, and we could talk about that more in just a moment here, because we're going to get into Coco Gauff right now. So Gauff on the same side as Swiatek, and her draw holding up pretty decent, but she's going to have a little bit of work to do here, not going to lie, if you're a fan of Coco Gauff. Now, one good thing for Gauff, she's playing great. She looks very good. She's been rolling. She hasn't lost a set. She's coming off a semifinal in the Italian Open. But when you look at her bracket, you have Clara Tauson out there who just knocked off Elena Ostapenko and Sofia Kenin. Of course, both of those ladies have won Grand Slam championships. If she's able to keep going, and if she's able to beat Gauff, that would be 3 major champions that she would beat in this tournament, which would be incredible. Now, we got to see how all this plays itself out and works itself out, but if Coco Gauff is able to get to a semifinal, if Iga is able to get to a semifinal, big matchup there. And again, I feel like we're in this conversation where it's Iga versus the roof. If this is play with the roof closed, changes a little bit of things, but overall, let's be honest, Iga Swiatek has dominated that matchup against Coco Gauff. What did Gauff beat her? One time, maybe? I mean, Iga literally has owned that matchup. So if these two do advance, I mean, we're probably looking at Swiatek probably moving on to their semifinal, but still a lot of work left to be had. Now let's go to the other half of the bracket. Elena Rybakina looks so good. She's rolling right now. Another one hasn't lost a set, and I really like her draw right now. The big thing is the matchup that she has coming up here in round 4. She plays Elena Sviotlina. Sviotlina, tough out for anybody. I don't care what surface it's on. Definitely going to have her hands full there. Now, if she's able to get by that, I mean, she's sitting really pretty here for a semifinal, maybe even a final, because on that other half of the bracket, which I want to go to now, takes us to Aryna Sabalenka. Now, Sabalenka playing very well, looks good so far, dominating, hasn't lost a set. She just made the finals in Madrid, made the finals in Rome. She's a semifinalist at Roland Garros last year, but huge matchup here in round 4. She plays Emma Navarro. Let's remember a few months ago, these guys met, and Emma Navarro beat Sabalenka. It was a huge upset at the time. Now Navarro stringing together some pretty impressive performances. She's really coming into her own. She's a great rising star in the sport, and that's a huge matchup here in round 4. Not to mention you also have Andreeva out there also playing very well here in this French Open. So if you're looking at this and you want to see this Big Four semifinal, all the scenarios that could possibly play itself out, you got to really like Rybakina making that far. And then after that, I think it kind of goes by, Swiatek, you expect to be there, followed by Gauff. And then Sabalenka has the toughest draw of them all. But overall, you gotta like the chances of seeing a big 4 semifinal here. This is gonna be a very fun second week of this tournament. I can't wait to see these matchups. I'm really looking forward to this round 4 matchup with Sabalenka and Emma Navarro, and all these possible scenarios that I kind of went over playing themselves out. It's gonna be a fun rest of the tournament. This women's tournament is so fun. Can't wait to see how it all plays itself out at Roland Garros.